Welcome back. The New York Times snubs John McCain. The Gray Lady publishes an op-ed by Barack Obama last week, but rejects a response written by the Republican presidential candidate. The Times op-ed editor David Shipley says, "I'm not going to be able to accept this piece as currently written. It would be terrific to have an article from Senator McCain that mirrors Senator Obama's piece. To that end, the article would have to articulate in concrete terms how Senator McCain defines victory in Iraq." New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson is a former presidential candidate and current Barack Obama supporter. He joins us live from Santa Fe for his take on this situation. Good morning to you, Governor.
Good morning. Good morning.
I can imagine that if you sent in, as a politician, an op-ed to the New York Times, that you might be offended if they returned it to you and said that they didn't agree with your position.
Well, look, the New York Times is very fussy. I mean, I've sent many editorials that they've rejected. In fact, most of them. You know, and a newspaper shouldn't be expected to accept a politician's op-ed unedited. I think what the editor was saying is that if you make it a pro-con editorial responding to Senator McCain, that makes sense. A newspaper has a right to do that. And by the way, the New York Times has taken about 7 of Senator McCain's op-eds in the past. So right. I don't think they're showing preferential treatment.
Oh, come on,
and
Governor.
we shouldn't expect them. No, they haven't. I mean,
come
really.
On. When we're talking about the presidential candidates, I understand that the paper has, can live up to its own standards. But the bottom line here is that there's something about fair use on television. When you have one candidate on a show, you're supposed to have the other candidate on. So they took a Barack Obama piece, which, by the way, was before his trip, and he may in fact change his policy when he returns. They took that one. Do you think that they asked him to rewrite it?
No, but why can't Senator McCain respond to Senator Obama's editorial, and then it'll get published in the New York Times? I don't see why the New York Times should be expected to accept unedited a piece from a politician. I mean, look, they've rejected, when I was running for president, a lot of my editorials. So, this is a case where I think Senator McCain just submit another one, and I'm sure they'll publish it that contrasts what Senator Obama is saying in his first editorial.
As long as it's not too hard on Senator Obama, no doubt. But let me ask you this. Shouldn't it be up to the readers to make their own judgments?
Well, yeah, but, the readers get opposite points of view in the New York Times and a lot of newspapers from opposite view columnists and op-eds, too. I think Senator McCain is overreacting. The New York Times has been very good to him over the years. They've published 7 editorials. They give him very flattering coverage. I don't know why he's whining about this.
Well, maybe because half of the American population is also whining about it. This recent poll says that when Americans are asked who the press will favor for the upcoming election, 49% say that they believe reporters will favor Obama. Only 14%, and keep in mind, McCain used to be the press darling. Only 14% of Americans now believe that the press will favor John McCain.
Well, look, you can look at this objectively, subjectively. The press has a right to report things the way they see it. And they should not be expected to take an op-ed directly from a politician. If the newspaper wants it changed, let the politician change it so that readers had a chance to make up their mind. That's all I think the New York Times is doing.
So how should John McCain change his personal opinions? That's what an op-ed is. How should he change his personal opinions in order for the New York Times to accept his response to what Barack Obama wrote?
Well, what I think the New York Times said is take Senator Obama's editorial and then tear it to shreds, but put it in the context of Senator Obama's op-ed. Don't put something else out that is totally irrelevant to the issue. Obviously, what Senator McCain was trying to do was criticize the entire trip, and possibly Obama's first piece was his policy in Iraq. So, I just think it's a question of McCain changing not his opinion, but the thrust of the article. I think it's just very simple semantics, and It's a non-issue, really.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if the New York Times publishes another editorial from Barack Obama when he returns and potentially changes his mind on the situation in Iraq. Governor Richardson, great to see you this morning. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.